What are the three biggest mistakes that people make when they go for a business partnership? The mistakes that are often fatal for it and explain why so many partnerships fail. Avoiding those mistakes will dramatically increase the probability of success for your business. Well, I will tell you what I think are the biggest mistakes based on my own experience and research. But if you had your own experience of being in a business partnership, I invite you to share your thoughts by filling out the questionnaire, the link to which is provided in the comment below. I will tell you more about this in a few minutes. Now, what are the big mistakes in question? Well, you might think that they are one of the following. First, going into a partnership with the wrong person. Second, failing to agree on a long-term strategy for your business. Or third, not writing down a detailed partner's agreement signed and sealed by a notary. No, while I think these might be serious errors, or at least some of them, they are not, in my view, the most egregious and critical errors. So what are the most critical errors then? Well, most people who see their partnership collapse usually blame each other for the failure if they're not self-critical, or oneself for having chosen the wrong person as a partner if they are more self-critical. But in reality, it's not usually the choice of the partner that dooms the partnership to failure. The first big mistake is to go for a partnership when there is no need for it. If you do not need to be in a partnership in the first place, then no partner can possibly be the right partner for you. This is what my first lecture about the reasons for going into partnership was about. Now, if you are confident that you need a partner for your business's success, then you would normally know what kind of a partner you need. The biggest mistake here is not a wrong choice, but rather not knowing who your partner really is as a partner and not accounting for the key differences between you as persons and partners. The other big mistake that partners often do is to allocate interest in the partnership or share in the profits based on the value of the assets contributed or past achievements of the partners. This is usually a recipe for disaster, or at least for a lot of disappointment, mutual dissatisfaction, friction, and discord within the partnership. I know this from my personal experience, as I will explain a bit later. The point here is that any allocation of interest should not be backward looking, but should be forward looking and should focus on ongoing contributions of the partners and their commitment to the business. In fact, the best principle of allocation of interest is that of equality, as I will explain in detail a bit later. This is also why exclusivity in partnership is so important. Being a lawyer, you might expect me to advocate a formal legally binding agreement between partners. Yet, not having such an agreement in writing is not the critical mistakes that many partners make. I've seen many instances of partners in business relying on a detailed legal contract drafted by lawyers that they didn't even bother to read because it's so boring. Well, when they get in trouble, they usually hire lawyers to read the contract and tell them what their options are. They may not be exactly what they wish they were. I have also mentioned in my previous video a case from my own practice as a lawyer, where one of the two former partners in one of the largest aluminum companies in the world sued the other in London, claiming his share in the business worth billions of dollars. Well, they had a sort of contract, one page written literally on a napkin with no lawyers present or involved. I can tell you that it was this contract, although almost unintelligible to an average lawyer, that actually saved the plaintiff, leading to a settlement for hundreds of millions of dollars. The actual amount has never been disclosed. Is my point that a bad contract is better than no contract at all? No. My point is that the grave mistake that partners often make is not to negotiate properly the key terms of their partnership and not to agree expressly on the key principles and objectives. It's not so much the form of such an agreement, but the lack of any agreement or even discussion on the key elements of the partnership that is the major problem. Well, I said that I would name three major mistakes. It seems that I have mentioned four, so you can treat an extra one as a bonus. So what are we going to do about this? First, I urge you to watch my videos that address the 3 mistakes. The first one is coming up on the 30th of October, in just about 1 day, and is entitled Asymmetric Partnerships. Do not let yourself be put off or intimidated by the arcane title. This video is largely about the principles for allocation of interests in partnership to make it successful and sustainable over time. This is of critical importance. In that video, I cite my own mistakes in this regard that led to the ultimate collapse of an otherwise successful partnership. There will also be a video on the importance of exclusivity and non-compete that will be released around the 10th of November. Second, there will be a 2-part video or lecture on negotiating partnerships that will be released in November. It would help you get it right on the agreement between the partners that is of fundamental importance for the partnership's success. Finally, there will be a video on personal differences between partners based on their behavioral types and how to deal with them. This video will be released later in November. Now, going back to the question of the survey that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I really urge you to contribute by clicking on the link below if you are or have been in a business partnership. There are about 20 questions there on your experience as a partner in the business. We shall analyze the results and will share the final report only with those of you who have participated in the survey. Any information that you will provide will be strictly confidential, and your name or the name of your business will not be mentioned in the report or otherwise disclosed without your consent. There is a specific question to that effect in the survey. As an additional bonus, we offer you a 50% discount if you want to consult us on any issues related to business partnerships. The offer will be valid for 6 months from the date you fill out the questionnaire. We shall also select 3 most interesting cases, just like the number of mistakes, and will offer you a completely free discussion and review of your case as a sort of case study, provided of course you're interested. I also think that participating in the survey is not only rather enjoyable, but may also be helpful in itself because it asks certain questions that you may not have asked yourself, and just thinking about the questions and your answer to them may in itself be useful for you. Well, thank you for your attention, and I do look forward to welcoming you to my next videos.